DePaul University responds to a case of racism.
The story's next on Channel 6 News. We'll bring you a live Newstar 6 report from Deborah Darnell.
Greg, students involved in this incident say they're very sorry it ever happened. I am Deborah Darnell, and I'll have more coming up in a live report.
This is Marilyn Lease at Purdue University, where specific problem solving is the issue of the day. That story is coming up.
Family and friends of a missing man comb southern Indiana woods. Howard Caldwell brings us his thoughts on dog control and dog bites.
And an earthquake jolts Greece. It measures 6 on the Richter scale and leaves thousands homeless. And Colts fans have been hoping to see their team jolted into action. Brian Hammonds brings us Colts Buccaneers highlights.
And David James says it looks like more of the same.
Channel 6 News is next.
The following is a paid political announcement.
After 17 months, Evan Bayh said he mastered the Secretary of State's office. Mastered the Secretary of State's office? Routine filings that used to take hours before Evan Bayh became Secretary of State now take weeks. Backlogs exist in almost every division of his office. And now Evan Bayh says he wants to do for all of state government what he's done for his office.
Walter, what's up?
With great taste and just 1 calorie, Diet Coke is the one soft drink everyone's falling for.
Hi.
Hi.
1 calorie just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
WRTV 6 Indianapolis. This is Channel 6 News at 6 with Greg Todd, Angela Cain, weather with meteorologist David James, and sports with Brian Hammonds. Now, live, WRTV Channel 6 News at 6.
Good evening, Indiana. A party on the DePaul University campus has sparked charges of racism.
And all involved in the incident agree it should never happen again. Deborah Darnell is live in Greencastle on the university campus with the story. Deborah.
Angela, Greg, there are black students on this campus who say they feel very offended by what happened. And both blacks and whites say they're upset that it ever happened. It seems there was a party Friday night at the fraternity behind me, Alpha Tau Omega. Other fraternities and sororities were involved in it. Well, it seems a few individuals took the chance to act out some racial slurs, and they even used racial slurs as decorations. Black students were at the party, and they shared with us what they experienced.
You walk downstairs to where the music is, and you see this big KKK on the wall, spray painted. Then right under that, you see some really rude things about Jesse Jackson, and over at the side of that, you see something real rude about South Africa, and you see the word spook up there, and it's not a birthday cake. It says "get out" is what it says.
There was like 3 guys that had black shoe polish on their face, and they were supposed to like be black, and they were dressed up like pimps. And that was kind of offensive to us. And then they have the nerve to even ask us, are we offended? Of course we're offended. You know, we shouldn't have to put up with this at this school.
This afternoon, the president of the fraternity, Jay Hoffman, said in a statement his membership is sorry about what happened.
Furthermore, this was not a deliberate or overt racist act on the part of this living unit. And we ask you to realize that we had no intention of maligning or defaming any group. There's no defense or justification, moral or otherwise, for these events, and as a representative of my living unit, I'd like to offer a formal apology to anyone offended or harmed.
The university may reprimand the fraternities involved, but it does not see DePaul becoming part of any trend towards prejudice on campus.
One of the things that distinguishes, and you know, this is one of a number of instances that have happened all over the country on college campuses. I think one of the things that may set us apart is that there's such a public outcry from our white students saying we won't tolerate this kind of behavior on the campus.
The university will do some fact-finding on its own in the next few days. In the meantime, fraternity members say they hope to meet with black students in order to make a more personal apology. And Angela, also, I should point out, the Interfraternity Council has issued its own apology, saying, of course, it's very sorry that this ever happened and promises or tries to promise it won't happen again.
Deborah, the university president mentioned that white students are concerned about this. How have they responded?
Well, Angela, what happened, I'm told, is last night both blacks and whites got together and conducted a silent march on campus in a way to show that they won't put up with this type of racial slurs. Just a silent march through. A lot of people were watching and supported them as they did it.
Okay, thanks for that report, Deborah.
And by coincidence, just 2 counties to the north, leaders of Greek organizations have gathered to discuss leadership, responsibility, and character. Thousands of fraternity and sorority leaders have come from all over the Midwest to meet at Purdue University. Marilyn Lease reports on the 4th annual Greek Leadership Conference.
Get them out in an area where they're on their own. They can do some decision making. Break them up into groups that are not normal groups that they function in.
As officers of fraternities and sororities in Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio, these kids frequently face the frustrations of not having any answers. The questions are no longer simple social matters like popularity and curfew. Just 2 weeks ago, police were cracking down on drinking at Ball State's homecoming. Alcoholism and underage abuses are now more common than not.
Have groups that go around to fraternity houses, sorority houses, events that tour around your chapter to check if there's any alcohol. There's strict measurements that are taken if alcohol is found. So that's a big issue right now.
I think it starts with education. The freshmen coming in when you're a pledge and stuff like that need to be educated on responsible alcohol management and responsible sexuality and just responsibility in general, because when you're 18 years old, the 2 top things on your mind, if you're a male coming into college, are women and parties.
Students are feeling other pressures too. Grades, careers, success are all part of the new college stress formula.
There's so much pressure to perform here or to, get good grades and stuff like that. And there's got to be, I think there ought to be some way, like we can get our minds off it more often.
Magazines, TV, and movies, they give us kind of a twisted idea about some of these things. And I think that's
students are learning that half the battle with these issues is first recognizing the problem exists. The next step is communicating, and at this impressionable age, may be easier said than done. As leaders, these students will have the big job of trying to motivate their peers when they get back to campus. And as individuals, they face the very same stresses they've been learning about. In West Lafayette, Marilyn Lease, Channel 6 News.
Also on the West Lafayette campus, a celebration. The School of Electrical Engineering marks its 100th birthday. Purdue University began offering degrees in that field in 1888. Also this evening, there is a search going on near Gosport.
Family and friends are searching nearby woods for a 37-year-old man missing since Monday. Wendell Johnson was last seen walking off with a shotgun into the woods near Gosport. He was fishing with friends when he decided to leave their White River site and go hunting. Anyone with information on Johnson is asked to call the Monroe